Hey everybody, this is Perch, and I just went in a new comic shop opened up in Woodinville, Washington. Woodinville, a tiny, well, I don't know, tiny, a smaller community outside of the Seattle area. It's up north and east, so I think it's been described as a bedroom community for Microsoft at times, but I don't know if that's entirely fair. The demographics of the area are a little bit mixed up because you've got kind of people who are, metropolitan, but they want a bigger house without paying millions of dollars and living downtown, so they come to Woodinville, and kind of a collection of people who I would say are more, blue collar, kind of, some farmers, just construction workers. It's got a mix of a community. So whenever you're here, you will often see rallies for Biden and rallies for Trump, kind of in the same area. And miraculously, they people seem to get along. They don't start beating on each other. It tends to work. I don't know if that's the best way to describe Woodinville. Anyway, it's outside of Kirkland and Bothell. Good little area. Anyway, brand new comic shop opened up there, and I did a video where I was parked outside waiting for the shop to open up. Going to go in and kind of check it out. I know most of the shops in the area. I know most of the owners in the area. I'm in the same Facebook group with a lot of them, and so was excited to kind of go in and see this one out. It's been open for about a month, a little bit less than a month. And this is Sir Lonebuck's House of Comics and Geekery is the shop. And owner is Shane, and he was in the shop. Got to have a chance to chit chat with him. And what was really nice, it was nice talking to Shane. I will tell you, if you're thinking about kind of going and getting a comic shop, if you're in the area, that I would check this one out, especially for new comics. We'll go more to that in a minute. But he also has he's a website, and which I'll put up on the screen there, and you can go and get some, orders in the mail, and he seems to be doing a pretty healthy business with people out of the area as well. So you can go do that. We had a good conversation around community and getting customers in, and how this all works, and kind of what he's seeing, what he's learning, kind of how you order, everything else, and just kind of the learning stage of what this business is like. He's showing me his orders, and how he thought this title would sell really well, and it's not. And, this other title would, it just kind of the things you learn. And this is invariably when you open up a new shop, if it's your first time, and this guy's making a go of it, and again, good for him. I love new people entering this business. Comics often has people who have run shops. I guess I'm describing myself. They're like, they open up another shop, and it's nice. I mean, that's fine. It's good that, that kind of business happens. But I always like people who are coming into it new, who are, maybe not jaded. That's the wrong way to put it, but just coming into it and, learning new things, making some of the same old mistakes, but also doing some things that the old veterans, wouldn't think of, because they're stuck in their ways to some extent. But one of those lessons you always learn in opening up a new shop is you learn your audience. You learn who's going to come in, and you think to yourself, hey, Batman's going to sell well because I hear it sells really well. And then you learn that, your particular neighborhood, the place you're at, people are not that into Batman. You get these thick stacks of Batman that just won't sell. Who wouldn't buy Batman? Anyway, a couple things about this shop. So, before I get there, I got to, tip my hat a little bit to the guy, because oftentimes you go into the shop and you get, I don't want to say, people, they want to talk, but they're leery. Once you say, and I always come out with it. I don't try and trick people into it. I'm like, yeah, I'm a retailer. I've had shops in the past. I will have shops in the future. I say that very, very quickly, because I don't want to present like I'm in there trying to spy on anybody or anything like that. And a lot of people get weird about that. But Shane here at I've got to get the Sir Lonebuck's that Sir Lonebuck's House of Comics and Geekery. The Lonebuck is not sticking in my head right away. But anyway, cool logo, little buck there with a monocle. It's very classy. It feels very classy when you're shopping in there. You feel like it's classy. Anyway, I said, hey, I'll put some photos of your shop out there, and and say, I don't know that it will help. I don't have a huge audience, but so people can see it. And he's like, yeah, take the videos you want, take the photos you want. Awesome. That's always very nice. Just very, Very open, very easy guy to work with. So I'm telling you all this. If you're thinking about buying comics from a place, hey, check this guy out. He's excited for your business, I would say. So some things about a shop, and he did. First of all, there's kind of two shops. There's the ones that feel like a TGI Fridays, but with more junk in it, and then there's ones that are very kind of clean and organized. This is the second one. This comic shop definitely was very clean, shelves well put together, plenty of space. You're not going to be bumping into things everywhere you turn around, and things are labeled. And here he did something that I've seen a couple people do, but he specifically had created regions in his store for the different types of manga. And by the way, that was awesome to see the shonen manga versus just the different categories of manga. And then he had an area for YA, and he had an area for horror, and he had an area for kids. And the kids area actually was kind of a little, almost a little alcove that the kids could go in, and they could, have a little space to themselves for that audience. That's super smart. And I think over time, as he kind of understands his clientele and more people come in, there's ways to kind of further adapt the store a little bit to the traffic of who's there and what kind of audience you're going to have. But it is smart to start highlighting kids. I've said this before on this channel. Kids grow up to be regular customers, and if you can create a spot where kids feel like there's something, and it doesn't take much, but where you feel like it's been laid out a little bit for them, then you will get not only will get a great customer, but you also get what you want. You want the kids telling the parents, "Hey, take me back to that shop. Hey, I want to go back there." Especially in this in the Seattle Tacoma area where it's raining a good deal of the time, particularly the winter, parents are looking for places that their kid's going to be happy to go see. That's indoor. That is not always especially with the pandemic and everything else. Or people are reluctant to go to the big play areas in the malls and that kind of stuff. Create areas where kids can come in and see it. But anyway, good stuff. Now this shop was interesting because, and I asked him about this, they're really prioritizing graphic novels, manga, YA, and new comics. No back issues. And a lot of what you hear on YouTube, what you hear in a lot of other places is back issues is the future. Everything's going to be back issues. That's not entirely true. I think for stores that have an established back issue market, they're doing well. They know their clientele. But if you were to open up a brand new comic shop, particularly in one in a metro area like this, if you're like, I'm also going to chase back issues, I mean, you've got lots of problems. Back issue customers tend to be pretty loyal to the place where they get their back issues. They don't just go randomly shop around. And also, just getting that stock of back issues is going to be tough right now. Just to get compelling material that people want is going to be difficult. And it's going to be a big cash lay unless you're selling off your own collection, which I know a lot of people often do. So it's going to be tricky to get there and to put that stuff out. But it's, so the other part that I say a lot, of course, you've got to diversify your lineup. And if you're deciding to steer away from back issues, either because there's just somebody else in your area that has it covered, or because you can't get your hands on the stock, one way or another, you've got to have something to fill that spot. So this is going to be the challenge for this shop: is what is going to kind of take the place of back issues. And I think what he's done here is he's sending a message. When you go into the shop, you immediately confronted with certainly new comics this week, with graphic novels, omnibuses, and other things. He had a good collection of omnibuses there and more specialized stuff. I think that's smart. And if I was giving him some advice, I'd lean further into that. I think as people get into artist editions and omnibuses and kind of other material like that, I think there's definitely a market for it. If you can get a reputation in the area for carrying that kind of stuff, it's in your best interest. Maybe some specialized crowdfunded stuff as well. That's something unique in the area that you can start to carry. Because he was preferencing indie work and manga and the different types of manga. Again, you're looking for things that are going to be different from what you see elsewhere. Fairly close, you got Barnes & Noble in the same town, Woodinville, that has a huge manga section. But they've got the manga just there in shelves. They're doing volume business. He had it separated by category. That's going to be clever. it's going to take some time because now he has to reach out to that community, that group that is interested in buying manga. But once he does that, he's going to have a very loyal clientele that's going to come in and appreciate the different categories and what he's got there. Again, selling the kids stuff is smart. The YA, having that separated out, is smart. It's also just smart in terms of not irritating your customer base. So one of the things I think Marvel and DC have done fairly poorly is when they venture into YA or kind of these Elseworld stories with younger, aimed at a younger audience. They often kind of stack it in the ordering catalog right next to current Batman and Justice League and other things. It's just all mixed together there. And this is been, I mean, as you can tell, it's been irritating to long-term comic fans who are collectors trying to get their stuff. You still want their money. It doesn't mean you shouldn't sell the YA stuff. It just means you should give it some space from that other audience. You are talking to a different audience, so give it some room. But all in all, this is a good shop. I've got videos and photos that you've been seeing probably while you're watching this. It's again small shop, very a store owner who wants your business, who recognizes that you got to sell everything: indies, Marvel, DC, graphic novels, all kinds of stuff in order to be successful. And very pleasant guy to work with. So if you happen to live in the area, go drive up to this comic shop, Sir Lonebuck's House of Comics and Geekery, or website is right there. I think you can reach out, drop the guy a note, or order something from him online. I think he'll hopefully take care of you. But I love seeing these new shops, and I want to do more profiles of shops. So that's something I'm going to do on this channel more, and hopefully also go back in and maybe get a comment from Shane or some of these other shops as well, and give you guys something to look at. So go check it out. Yeah, I was impressed. It was a nice shot of what he's doing, and I wish him all the success in the world. Hope he gets it. And for all of you, reach out. Give the guy a thumbs up. At the very least, give him some encouragement. New business owner, we want more of those. Thanks for listening.